Hi, I'm here at the Microsoft Certified Trainer Summit, and I'm chatting with Christopher Harrison. He's a SharePoint trainer, and we were just talking a bit about SharePoint and the courses and the administrators who are implementing and their challenges. And he was mentioning one of the features that it seems a lot of people are hesitant to implement, but he thinks maybe is a little undervalued. You want to tell me about that, Christopher?
Yeah, sure. So the feature that we were talking about is called My Sites and user profiles. And really what this is this is designed to be a great repository to go in and basically find everybody inside of your organization. And I see a lot of organizations that for one reason or another may be afraid to or just never get around to implementing. And I think that's really a shame because it gives away one of the biggest features inside of SharePoint, that with the My Sites and user profiles, there's a lot of really obvious examples of how that can help employees connect with one another. So for example, if maybe I send an email to somebody and I get an out-of-office reply and I'm not exactly sure who it is that I'm supposed to be contacting, what I can do is I can go find their profile, and then inside of there I can see other people in their department, or maybe people who share the same job title, or maybe who their manager is, and so that way I can go ahead and connect with them. Or especially if you've got a larger organization. I mean, if you've got an organization of, say 40, 50 people, chances are you know everybody. But if you've got a larger organization of, a few thousand people, or even maybe just a couple hundred people, you're probably not going to know who everybody is. And so you might see a face, or you might see an email, or you might see somebody in a meeting, and you're trying to figure out who it is they are, what importance they might have inside the organization. Going in and looking up their profile inside of their My Site is a great way just to go in and see, oh, okay, well that's who that person is. And those are really kind of the obvious ones, but there's a lot of ones that maybe you wouldn't even necessarily think of. So for example, let's say that your organization is considering some form of a campaign or some form of a policy switch. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to get some more information about why you should or shouldn't do that, or what are the ramifications. And so rather than going with a lot of the obvious people, like maybe the manager of the department, you could go off and you could find people who maybe had worked for a competitor, and maybe that was something that they had done. And a lot of times that information is going to be locked off inside of some HR database, which isn't always going to be very easily accessible. And if I've got My Site set up, now that person will typically have inside of their profile maybe the organizations that they worked for beforehand, or maybe what it is they happen to go to school for, or maybe we're going to be expanding out into say like Mexico, or we're going to be expanding out into Europe. And so we're looking for information about just culture over there. We're looking for maybe people who are on staff who speak the language, who could actually start doing some translations for us. And again, maybe it was not something that we hired them on for. We didn't hire them on for that skill, but now we're looking for people with those skills. And again, that's locked up over here. And what we want to do is be able to very quickly find them. And so we can go off and do that inside of their My Site, their user profile. And then even beyond that, one of the things that I'm a huge believer in is that happy employees are productive employees. And allowing your users to connect with one another and find one another, even in a non-business way, can actually still help the bottom line. So for example, maybe one of the things that we're trying to do is we're trying to put together, say, a bowling league, or we're trying to put together a basketball team. And so what I'm looking for is I'm looking for people who have that type of a hobby, or maybe what we want to do is we want to take over a conference room some night, and we want to go ahead and play, like Settlers of Catan, or some board game or something like that. And so I want to go off and I want to find, okay, well, who are my gamers or who are my bowlers? Or for my own personal example, I'm a runner. And whenever you have any form of like a half marathon or a big event like that, there's a lot that goes into that. That first off, you've got the opportunity to maybe raise money for charity, and it can be a great way for the organization to give back to the community. But it's also, just a great bonding experience that when you go out, for an hour or 2 hour run, there's really nothing else to do but talk to that person that you're running with. And so if you really want to get to know somebody, go off and run with them. And it creates some real great bonds. And so now, when I'm going back to work, now I'm getting to go back to work with people that I really like and I really like hanging out with, because I've been able to form this bond over here. And again, that helps now build morale and brings us back to that whole happy employees, productive employees, because now I want to be there. I want to be back at work, so I can go off and, well, I can see my friends, I can see my running buddies, I can see my basketball buddies. So there's quite a bit of, very obvious, oh, okay, well, I need to go look up this person, so I'm going to go to their profile. Or there's a lot of maybe ones that you didn't think of, both on a business need as well as even on not a directly business need, but certainly something that can really, actually in the long run, help the bottom line.
That's awesome. Thank you much. So that's My Sites in SharePoint?
My Sites user profiles in SharePoint.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.